All right, guys, welcome back to another Real Estate Lunchbox. I'm streaming. The family's here. Yeah, the family's here. But it was cool. Want to say Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays. And before we even get into the New Year season, Happy New Year's. Of course, this is a great season. It's a great opportunity to spend some time with your family. Don't believe the hype because you don't have anybody to love doesn't mean that you're going to have a bad holiday. Me and my wife were looking at that and it's like, man, all these commercials and shows always geared towards if you're alone for the holidays, it's going to be bad. No, you're never alone. Remember, Jesus is with you. He loves you. He cares about you. He gave his life for you, and God sent him here to actually change the course of what we think about ourselves and how we see ourselves. So I always share that with you on every program. Just remember that. Don't believe the hype. Don't feel bad about this holiday season. If you don't have somebody home, if you don't have any family, show some love and some love will be shown back to you. That's the way it works. And the reason it works like that, we're in a system when that the givers receive, those who create also grow, they stand out. And this is a great opportunity for you to be a creator this season, a creator of love and passion and caring, showing somebody some appreciation today. Well, the Real Estate Lunchbox, of course, this show is really geared towards news, politics, business, culture, and the real estate. This is where every one of those points meet because when you understand the culture, when you understand what's going on in the news, when you understand politics, you make better real estate investment decisions, whether it's for your primary investment or whether it's for your investor portfolio, doesn't matter. And I'm your host. I've been with you about 18 years in this space. I've fixed and flips, fixed and flips. I fixed and flipped, helped buyers and sellers. I've helped wholesale deals, creative real estate deals, investor deals, portfolio deals. I've done it, rentals, property management. Yeah, I've been in that space. And I started doing this because going back to it again, a lot of this stuff that's out here, this shit is boring. I don't like listening to people just talk about, oh, the numbers, this is a 10% cap rate. Who cares about that? Some of y'all need to know how to actually find the bag in the midst of uncertainty. And I love to do that. I love to find the bag in the midst of uncertainty. Matter of fact, going into 2026, I'm gearing up I've been looking at pinpointing where the bags are going to be at. So in my Patreon, we talk more about that. You're welcome to jump into the Patreon. I just started that and I'm going to start loading some of these videos I've completed into there because this is not about selling you a program or anything like that. Fuck that. You don't need it. I keep saying everything that you need is in you. And YouTube also has a lot of great information to help you grow. You just got to believe in yourself. And that's kind of what the community does. We just want to give you advice on helping you believe in yourself and know that you can do this, whether you're trying to grow your real estate portfolio or if you just are just hanging out. And I'm home, so I'm always going to be checking what's going on. All right. Yeah, that's whack. I stopped in the middle of it, but hey, needed to do it. Sometimes you're at home and when you're at home and you're getting this stuff done, it's like people just come to your door. You have randoms just come to your door out of nowhere. There's randoms just come to your door out of nowhere, and this is weird. Oh, somebody dropped the package off for me. 32-inch TV. I don't know why they put that right on my front porch. Hey guys, hold on one second. I'll be right there. I'll be right. All right, that's done. Yeah. Hey, man. Hey, I'm just giving you boots on the ground insight. So, shoot, I got to go get my TV from in front for my daughter. I got to get her. She got a TV for her birthday, for Christmas, you know? Ah, boy. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I know a lot of this program that I'm doing today is not just all going to be centered in real estate. We got a couple real estate stories. I'm leaning a little bit more heavier on the culture side right now on this. You're welcome to go to my other page, The Real Leon Duncan. And on that page, I go a little bit more deeper than I touch right here, because this is just for you to know. On that other page, I think it's just for you to learn or to understand or really get my insight. And you could choose what you want to do with it. Cool thing about this space that we're in, we live in the most powerful country in the world. The most powerful country in the world with the most opportunities in the world. Whether we agree with it, whether we disagree with it, whether we have things we disagree with in life, a lot of times I say, and I tell my kids, this is not life. You need to really change your mindset, because life is going to be what life is. Your mindset is going to determine how you deal with some of the crap that comes your way. From the haters, the people that just can't let things go, to the people that don't like you just because they don't like you. You know, and there's plenty of them out here. You don't want to be one of those people. I've been an entrepreneur in this self-employment space, doing my thing, building real estate business, different things like that for a while. And I think I started as self-employed as an agent back in 2006. Got my first real estate investment property 2015. And since then, I've just been fascinated with everything on the investing side. And so, like I said before, I'm not here to take any of your money. This is not what it's for. I give away a lot of free advice, and I think the Patreon is a pretty cool thing. $9. Just so you can listen to videos, you can learn and have a better perspective. But before the Patreon came into place, you had YouTube. And YouTube is still the truth. It is still the beast in the room. It is still a way to make a great bag.
Congratulations. Well done.
If you know how to follow directions. Yeah. And if you are someone that loves to learn, then you can definitely get a lot out of this. Okay. So I like listening to a lot of business content. I like listening to a lot of business content. Oh, yeah, Lord. Let's go. Some of the content channels I love listening to, one particular one is PBD. He runs a channel called Valuetainment. Valuetainment really helps business builders and entrepreneurs. It's a very capitalist focused. He himself has built very large businesses, sold them for hundreds of millions of dollars. And so he gives some good insight on his program. And he makes some really good content. Really, really good content. So I'm browsing through PBD's podcast. It came up on my YouTube scroll. And I had just got finished the day before listening to Dave Chappelle. If you don't know, Dave Chappelle has right at this time of this recording, he's got a new stand-up comedy piece on YouTube. YouTube. It's on Netflix, and it's called Unstoppable. Now, I'm a Dave Chappelle fan. I've been a fan of Dave Chappelle for a long time. Hey, matter of fact, since he had his HBO, had the Dave Chappelle show, then yeah. Wait, Burr! I'm telling you, I was a fan of Dave Chappelle when he used to dress up and used to dress up like the KKK guy with the hood on his head. A fan of Dave Chappelle. I believe Dave Chappelle is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. Now, I'm going to also tell you, I believe Dave Chappelle right now is in a place where he feels insecure. He feels a little bit inferior. I think he's counting the clock on the wall. He's counting looking at the time on the wall, and even though he's had all these great strives, and I know a lot of y'all may disagree with me on this. You may not like it. If you don't like it, you're welcome to leave a comment. Tell me what you think. This is the great thing about America. You're welcome to say what you feel concerning it. As long as you ain't cussing going crazy, I won't delete you or take you off. But you're welcome to say what you say concerning it. But I do believe Dave Chappelle is in a place right now. He's feeling insecure. He's feeling insecure. He even though he holds the record as the GOAT, time is changing, and he can't keep up with it. I think he's at a place he doesn't quite understand it. Now you say, Leon, how do I know this? Listen to this. This is PBD. They're talking about Dave Chappelle, but more importantly, they play this skit. They give a little input, but before, I'm going to chop it up and tell you why I feel Dave Chappelle right now is in a place of being insecure and feeling a little inferior. Well, I'll say inferior, but feeling a little insecure, more insecure than not, of what's taking place in our country, our society, and where his career is headed.
Do we want to go what Dave Chappelle said about Charlie Kirk?
Sure.
Let's go to that one. Can you play the clip about what Dave Chappelle said about Charlie Kirk? Here's Dave Chappelle. He said a lot of things this weekend. A lot of things. I don't know if you watch it or not, Vinny. Did you? How was it? It's okay.
It was. He's the best. The first thing I saw, he had a Kaepernick, the name Kaepernick on the back of his shirt. I'm like, what the, like Colin Kaepernick? With all due respect, give me a effing break. The guy whose career went to shit, so he was like, let me grow my afro as big as possible and give me, come on.
Well, let's read the story.
And started hating on white people, and his parents are adopted
I'm actually
white.
with Vinny. I'm actually with Vinny.
Yeah,
Go ahead and
bro,
play
what
this
are you
clip.
talking
Go ahead.
about?
And the whites were quick to say this. They said, Charlie Kirk is this generation's Martin Luther King.
Mo, can we play it or
On
no?
Netflix? Hold on. I was gonna say, can you play this? I don't know.
This is not the best.
No,
We can play a
No,
small clip.
what I'm saying
We
is
give
Netflix.
commentary
I don't know.
about it.
You know what I'm saying?
I
I don't know.
Yeah. Get taken down. As long as we give commentary.
Go ahead, play, guys.
Okay,
Yeah,
Keep
we're
going.
talking.
Come on, let's
we're
go.
talking.
Yeah,
Hey, Netflix, don't take this down. We
Yeah.
want to give you guys promotion on Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Now, let's stop that right there because he says some more. He classified and defined Charlie Kirk, limiting him to being an internet, And I looked at this and I said, wow, Dave Chappelle is what he is, not because he's an internet personality. He's a personality that now on the internet we can see his previous works and listen to it and absorb it. Okay. And regardless of your feelings about Charlie Kirk, whether he was an internet guy or whether he was racist or whatever your feelings were concerning it, his last statement on the end when he says internet niggas have to be negative in order to make things work. And you got to see Dave Chappelle, all of these comedy skits are triggering people. He's triggering the LGBTQ, he's triggering the gays, he's triggering white people, he's saying pieces and skits that trigger people. Now, some people think Dave Chappelle is a negative individual, a negative comedian. So it's very funny. It's like the pot calling the kettle black. And some of the people who clap, they're great clapping, but they go home and they open their phone and they're watching their next internet influencer or content creator. Dave Chappelle in this skit shows to me how insecure he is when it comes to people that may challenge his position. Now, you got to realize, content guys, you're looking at Country Wayne and some of these other guys blowing up, making money hand over fist, doing content online, YouTube, pumping out several pieces of content per day. I applaud them because just the creativity behind a lot of those skits, you can tell it takes a lot of work. But for him to attack Charlie Kirk, he didn't just attack Charlie Kirk. He attacked every creator, whether they're stand-up comedians, whether they're people that do reactions like me, all in one, and defined them as being people that need negativity in order to get their point across. We'll run that back so you see I'm not.
Niggas are negative because they have to be. Because nobody will
They're negative because they have to be.
engage them unless they say shit that makes them upset.
We know that people don't engage you unless you say some shit that triggers them. That's true. If I told you that Jesus loved you, you're like, oh, yeah, Jesus loved me. You're not going to engage. You'd be like, yeah, that's a great guy. And that's it. You keep on going. If I told you right now that you don't deserve reparations because everybody else that got reparations, it was illegal for what happened to them during that time. It went against global. You could be like, what are you talking about? And then you're typing in something. Yeah, you're typing. You're either typing on your phone, you're typing on your keypad, or you're doing a voice message. And then you drop it. And then Dave Chappelle gets up here and he's y'all being critical of him. And remember I told you he the GOAT. I love watching Dave Chappelle skits. But when he said this, I said Dave Chappelle has no concept of content, nor does he know what's going on and where things are going. And matter of fact, Dave Chappelle is slow motioning right now, trying to figure out what he actually wants to do. And everything he's doing, moves that he's making, as you can see if you listen to this whole skit, it has to do more with business and buying real estate and expanding his personal empire, while he tells you that Charlie Kirk and people like him were not, they're negative people. They're negative. And most people will clap and they'll listen because he's the GOAT. They're watching the show, which is cool. I got it.
That's Charlie Kirk.
Wow.
Could you
This is
imagine
shame.
Dr.
This
King
is
was
actually shame. Okay, let him finish. Let him finish.
He took Charlie Kirk down to being an internet nigga. Even though Turning Point USA, and this argument is not for Charlie Kirk, let me tell you, Turning Point USA, as far as in the ground game, as far as in a nonprofit, Christian nonprofit, a nonprofit on college campuses, he revolutionized the ground game for nonprofits and that are on college campuses, redefining what it actually means to advocate for things that you believe in, that fit the word of God, that align with the personality of God. Do I agree with everything Charlie Kirk said? No, I don't. I can't. Because he's an individual, he has thought patterns behind it. But because we live in a world where we live in a culture, I would say we live in a society where you're welcome to have your own opinion. Try that shit over in China and some of these other places, even some of the African countries you guys advocate for. See how far you go with it. Try it. I want you to go over there, say your opinion, even being a citizen. Matter of fact, convert over to them, because lose your citizenship, and say you're going to be a resident of one of these third world countries that don't carry the same feeling when it comes to freedom of speech, when it comes to expression, when it comes to your music, when it comes to what you watch, what you believe, and how you advocate. You try to protest and don't think that you won't end up like those people in Tiananmen Square, Chinese students back in the day. If you don't know what the Tiananmen Square massacre is, take the time to research it. But he can say this and do this because we live in a world where he can say it and do it. And honestly, I enjoyed the special even with this in it, I still enjoyed the special.
Like Charlie Kirk, smash that like button and subscribe.
Right there. Smash that like button and subscribe. I don't know. Charlie Kirk probably said smash that like button. I never heard him say smash the like button and subscribe. But when he says that, to me, it tells me that he's hating on that smash the like button and subscribe. Matter of fact, if you listen to this, smash the like button and subscribe. Because his thoughts are okay to be shared on stage. Excuse me. Man, I had some let me keep going. Man, sparkling water. But his thoughts are okay to be shared from stage, but you can't share your thoughts from YouTube, from your podcast, from from TikTok, from Insta. No, you. And I'm not saying that he says you can't share your thoughts, but the attack on the concept of creating content or actually being someone that moves crowd. See, Charlie Kirk's influence, and even creators who carry these millions of people on their subscribe to their platform with millions of watch hour, have more influence than Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is very funny, and he's a funny character, a funny guy, and I love watching him. But let's be honest. Sometimes it's hard to listen to the Joker give you wisdom. Even though he has great points where he is like, yeah, man, I just thought about that. Like the one that he made, the argument that he made. I don't know if you saw it. Go watch it. He opened up at Saturday Night Live. Donald Trump, I think, had just became the president. This was 2020? It wasn't 2024. This was 2016 when Donald Trump got elected president the first time around. It was a skit where Dave was pretending to be Trump, and he says Trump goes into the house, and he comes back out, and he said, listen, what's going on in there is truly what's going on. He goes back into the house. I thought that was so like wow. Dave Chappelle dropped the dime, but Dave fell on himself in this because to clown creators and then to start with Charlie Kirk I think he's wielding and thinking his influence as a jester in the court is more than what it is. No, it really isn't. Like the idolatry that we see from individuals worshiping people like Chappelle, Nicki Minaj, Erica Kirk, any of these people in these positions, this should be a sign to you that they won't line up with what you think consistently. And they will more influence what you think more than allowing you to have a thought pattern for yourself, which is a pattern of freedom. Like to think in the lines of a free, sovereign entity. That's not what people like him want you to think or believe.
Okay, go ahead, Adam.
Well,
Well, I'm not going to sit back and listen to their whole commentary on it. But when I saw this, and I got to give a shout out to the PBD podcast, great way taking this piece, and they run with it on Charlie Kirk's side to actually speak about Charlie Kirk and how, Chappelle didn't like Charlie. Chappelle has a right not to like whom he doesn't like. If he feels that way about Charlie Kirk, I get it. But I feel this opened up a bigger subject than a Charlie Kirk or even a Martin Luther King comparison. This opened to me the subject of, are you now saying that these internet people are all negative, that nobody gives any value and only value comes from people like you? People who stand on stages and make jokes, and you're threatened to the point where somebody comes to attack you. Well, he forgets he holds a lot in common with Charlie Kirk. I mean, he was on stage talking in front of a bunch of people. Charlie Kirk was attacked and he died. Chappelle wasn't. He had Diddy or one of these guys jump out and push away the attacker. And you would figure that he would actually see this. I don't think he recognizes this as being a certain level of hate or a certain level of dislike or insecurity. I say it's more insecurity. It's insecurity because I can see how old he is right now. I can see how old he's getting. And let's be honest, we all wait for a Dave Chappelle Netflix show. Dave on Netflix to me is like Game of Thrones on HBO. It's gonna go down. Like it's one of those things you like, man, he gonna drop something this year. It's gonna come at Thanksgiving. It's gonna come at Christmas. May come at New Year's. He may do a double split. He might. But that's where he is right now, and that's the extent of what he has to offer to society. Jokes. With bits and pieces of revelation and clarity. Who did he fall in line with on this? More the conservative Democrat. And that's really what Dave Chappelle is. Whether you say, okay, he smokes weed, so he's a liberal, or he's libertarian-like. No, Dave, over time, has shown himself to be more of a conservative Democrat. He likes certain conservative pieces, but he doesn't like certain liberal pieces in the Democratic Party. And he's clearly a Democrat. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. What Dave failed to mention in this is Charlie Kirk and Martin Luther King both shared a lot of similarities. And you're watching this, you may say, Leon, I don't agree with you. You're dumb. This guy's a buffoon. And I'm going to get to some of the comments on reparations that I made. And you guys, you are funny. But you're entitled to your opinion, and it's cool. Keep it coming. I'm good with that. Charlie Kirk and Martin Luther King both shared two things in common. Now, I'm going to piss off the right, and I'm going to piss off the left in this. Some people may see it, some people may not. One, they both became idols of the left and then idols of the right. Charlie Kirk became an idol for the right, and knowing all the great things that he did or approached or spoke about, you can still make a man an idol. And if he was alive, he probably wouldn't like the national funeral that he had that looked like Nazi Germany. But nah, I liked it though. It was cool. It was some good parts. It was a little weird though. A little but Charlie became the champion of the right. Martin Luther King became a champion of the left. A lot of people don't know this, but Martin Luther King would be considered now, as we see it hindsight, a socialist Christian. Y'all, like, how does that work? How can you be a socialist Christian? You can take the teachings of Jesus Christ and you can socialize them. You can make them now a political message of socialization, being a social advocate for human rights. They do that, even though he did not have any beef with people that didn't look like him. Matter of fact, he came for the people that didn't look like him and said he came for the people that he came first for his people. They didn't accept him. He went to everybody else. Socialism doesn't just go to everybody else. It doesn't do that. Like socialism wants you to conform to a certain way of thinking, of sharing everything that you have. They said, Leon, Jesus, he was an advocate of sharing everything. And Martin Luther King, what do you mean? There were a lot of parts of King's message that we know now, and we see from his biography and certain writings that he did have communist socialist perspectives on a lot of things. And it wouldn't be stupid back then, because at that point in time, Black people were attacked. They were being dragged by dogs in the middle of the street. And it is easy to build an alliance with another country or perspective that goes against the American capitalist, free society message. Because at that point in time, you say, man, Black people wasn't free, even though prior to the 60s, before even Black Wall Street, we built some of the best societies that were segregated, towns that were segregated, that our children were coming in getting a full education because they're being educated by Black people and then leaving. Now, it sounds confusing what I'm saying, but that's when America was great. T.I. asked that question, when was America ever great? Well, I can say Black people were great during that time, because when we got into the 60s and the 70s, now we see a big drop in male presence in the home and the government incentivizing that. So if Martin Luther King came from a perspective, you guys may not have liked this, I get it, a socialist Christian, yes, some Black churches right now look just like that. Think about it. They hymn, haw, they shout, scream, move you with emotion to do certain things that's in line with what they need and what they want. But when you look at the scripture, it doesn't even fit into the gospel. It doesn't. So what if you don't give? He says it's better to give than to receive. There's so many scriptures about giving. I say, so what if you don't give? Because that is a relationship or a thing between you and God. Now, I'm not saying don't give, calm down. I know you all want to trip out. I believe in giving. I believe in giving big. What's up? What's up, man? What's up, Evan Almighty? And I believe in giving big. But Martin Luther King had that perspective that we can tailor and look at people like Jamal Bryant and some of these other leaders of black churches, and you wonder how this Southern Baptist type of thing that connects like a Jamal Bryant to like a Martin Luther King, how can he pick up and do those things? If you research and you see that the Southern Baptist movement prior to King coming on was not, it didn't look like that. It looked more conservative. They were still more behind the conservative movement. And I get it. I understand why King felt the way he felt. I get it. I do. I do. But if you listen to his speeches, now, I grew up in an AME church and we had to learn that. Matter of fact, we went from church to church talking. We would recite Martin Luther King's speech. This was when Jamal Bryant's father, if he still is, I think, was head of the African Methodist Episcopalian Church, First District in Northeast, in the Northeast. So it was Martin Luther King's speech was a given. But King held some socialist communist beliefs. He did. And we can disagree with it and argue with it. I always say listen to his speeches before and look at us now. And listen to the black pastors, how they use his image. Listen to how we worship and use his image. I'm never going to say that what King wanted in his push was wrong. I'm not saying segregation is bad. I'm not saying innately, but you have to understand that people that you look up to sometimes will say things you don't agree with. We do not throw him off with the bathwater, but we do acknowledge that and see where his fundamental beliefs stop and where the doctrine stops and his beliefs, which go off the paper, begin. That's a very important thing we have to know because everybody has beliefs, even when they wrestle with certain things of faith. You have like, oh, I don't know about that. I'm going to believe it, God. Now, here comes Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, polar opposite. Charlie Kirk still had over time, he smelt it on himself and he started to realize it. That's why he had his issues with Israel. Carried a very deep Christian nationalist opinion in a way. Not negative where he hated black people. Some people, I don't know where they get this Christian nationalism is a hatred towards black people and minorities. No, it's majority white people that are Christian nationalists because they push the national portion and being Christian and how Christianity fits into the country's framework. You stand with Nicki. You know what? I stand with Nicki's freedom of speech, man. I stand with Nicki. I think Nicki should be able to say what she feels, whether people like it or not. She should be able to say it. And when Nicki can't say it, and people that's why I had to start with Dave Chappelle, because Dave Chappelle has a right to say whatever he wants to say, however he wants to say it. And I love Dave Chappelle's specials, man. I'm going to watch the next one. I will watch it again. I'm probably going to watch that same one over again. I'm not triggered by if a person agrees with me fundamentally or not. Let's be honest. When we get triggered like that, there is a place of idolatry that's involved. There is. There's a place. Long live the queen of hip hop. There she go. There is a place of idolatry that's there that you look at a person and you get upset and you get triggered because their opinions don't line up with what you believe that they should be or they should think like. And I think that's crazy. I think it's dumb. I think it's stupid. I'm thinking we have traveled further enough in society where that will stop. But I get why it's happening. I get it. There's always a need from people who see these people to live vicariously through them. Yes. Nicki bad and some of these girls like, man, she a baddie. I'm going to be a baddie like Nicki. I remember when girls were coming out and they were dressed just like Nicki. You know what? I'm about to jump into Nicki in a second too. But I remember when I even flipped the script. I remember when Dave Chappelle left the scene and it was like a big hole. And then you got some people that tried to be as controversial as him, but they couldn't do it. You got to remember this guy is a guy that he's professionally trained to stand on stage and to move the crowd. Some people get on stage and it becomes natural, but they still have to go through a lot of reps. But it's still natural. For him, it was natural. He went through a lot of his reps in school. When we idolize people like him, we can't see truly what's going on. Not tour. Nick's pen, yeah. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Dave can't make me upset because I don't idolize Dave Chappelle. I could care less if Dave Chappelle buys up his whole town and hates white people and does all those different things and talks bad. I don't care. That's Dave's life and his walk. He has to decide what it's going to look like for him. I may call it out like we're now and talking about it. And I say that Dave Chappelle he's insecure. And as we go further to what we see in society, the changes we see taking place in society, and I keep saying it. I said it before. I said it on my other YouTube channel. Content creators, streamers, these guys far greater than me. When I say far greater, it ain't greater than me. Whatever. They do what they do. But with massive audiences, will influence people far more than a Dave Chappelle comedy skit. Will influence them more. So I guess he wants the far left to chase him now and attack him, and he wants the right. And a lot of right people on the right admired him. They liked him. They thought he was hecka funny. And I still believe a lot of them with critical thinking do. Some of them, I told you, this is probably not going to fit for the right or the left on this, but it kind of needs to be said, guys. It kind of needs to be said. You're disappointed when you put all your confidence and your faith in a person. Dave Chappelle is like that, and society's changing right now, and I'm curious to see where Dave Chappelle is going to end up in the next 5 years. Dave is comfortable, and you can tell he's been comfortable, sitting in Ohio, buying up his town, and smoking his weed and enjoying life. I can't be mad at him. This is a man that comes out and just gives his opinion. But what I do see is a guy that can't handle what's taking place. YouTube, social media, doesn't really have a social media presence when it comes to that. So he doesn't understand any of that. So now he becomes a hater to content creators and puts Charlie Kirk in that same space, comparing him to Martin Luther King. There's no comparison. They very much similar, but no comparison. No comparison. Some similar things that they did, but very different personalities. And it's crazy. I sit as someone that I admire certain things about King and I admire certain things about Charlie Kirk. But I will never hold them in a place where I'm offended and I flood the internet with so much attacks against one or attacks against the other. When you take your time to think about the mindset that King was in at that time and the pressures that were applied to him, it's not like now. It's like me trying to take the time period of me growing up, 80s, being a 90s baby, going through an 80s baby, going through all of that, loving the 90s, and trying to say talk to my son and say, hey, son, like, you should be doing this. I can fundamentally tell him what he should be doing. His pressures that he faces are different than the pressures I faced, some similarities. But the thing I can always be sure of is if I bring him up with the knowledge of who he is in the eyes of God, to God and in the eyes of God, the knowledge of who he is, and an understanding of of the love of the creator of God for him, everything else will work itself out as long as he continues to realize that God loves me and he made me in his image and his likeness. So we can have differences of opinion. We can. Now, look, that's my take on it. Now, let's talk about this thing with Nicki, man, because I had to go back and look at with Nicki. I had to go back and say, did Nicki truly say something that was like massively offensive in this? Now, it's 9 minutes. I'm not going to do the whole 9 minutes. I'm not, because we're going to talk more about what you guys think about it. Because I can't change Nicki. And I can't even change you. But maybe I can just shed some light on the fucked up thinking. Okay? Maybe.
What is something that you want to leave as a legacy in this world for your family, for your baby, for just everything?
Well, that it's okay to change your mind. Yeah.
I think right there sums up everything. I think it just sums up everything. It really is okay to change your mind. Growth and learning is always going to result in a reinforcement of what you think or a changing of what you think. Your mental paradigm is supposed to evolve. There's a scripture that says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. When you see the word transform, I want you to think about Transformer. It's a robot and then a car in this disguise. It goes from being a robot to being a car into a robot, but it transformed. There was one episode in Transformers where they were locked in a certain position and they couldn't transform anymore. And that what you saw was they were always going to be a car. They were going to be locked in being a robot. I said, damn, that really was, I was looking at, man, they're supposed to transform. Think of it like this. We're supposed to acquire knowledge. We're supposed to grow in experience and understanding and be transformed by the renewing of our mind. Why do we hate these people that they're growing up, they're changing? Just because we don't agree with them. Because in our mind, I noticed this, a lot of people think that Nicki is supposed to be the same Nicki she was when in 2015 and when she dropped her first album. Not even Nas is the same rapper that he was in Illmatic. Nowhere near. Not even the same. Not from Nas, Illmatic to God's Son, completely different. Some people say God's Son is crap. Illmatic was better. Yeah. Some people like me who grew up listening to it, and I remember the summer that it first dropped, and I was rocking it on a bus in Philly, 9th grade year. But Nas dropped Illmatic, and then it was written, and then all these other albums after it, and he never sounded like Illmatic. Had pieces, but he had changed, and we see the change in him as an example by the fact that we thought Jay-Z was the luxury rapper, and Nas now owns the owns the casinos that make the billions, like the millions. Like, so to believe that Nas is supposed to be the same person is crazy. Just to believe that. Why do we do that to ourselves? Why? Why do we do that to ourselves? Why don't we sit back and learn and realize that you need to reinvent yourself every year, if not every 2 years? When you hit a certain place, and this is for real estate too, and this is for my business people out there, my entrepreneurs out there, my self-employed people out there, even if you got a W-2, understand this. There are seasons where you have to reinvent yourself. You have to pivot and you have to make change. Now, do I agree with everything that she says? I felt a little, but guess what? I ain't gonna stop listening to Nicki. Nicki still got hits. I still love, if Nicki dropped an album today, I would listen to her album like, yo, man, dope. I'll tell you if it's dope. I'll tell you if it's whack. I ain't going to treat her a certain way because she doesn't agree with me politically or doesn't agree with me based on this or whatever. Whether you say she's doing it because of her baby dad, and whether you say she's doing it because of her brother, and you say she is a pedophile, and she got this big $500,000 case that's coming at her, and she's, I'm gonna tell you something that you do not want. You guys keeping it real aren't really keeping it real, because when shit come at you, you gonna make the adjustments to fight whatever you got to fight for out, in that battle. Yeah, you will. Alliances that need to be made, you're going to make those alliances. You are. I would hope that you would listen to what God talks to your heart, speaks to your heart and says first. But at the end of the day, if she's in a place where she's already discovered that the people that we say is her fan base or look like her or politically she should be, whose corner politically she should be in, she's not there. Maybe they didn't do certain things that she felt comfortable with. Maybe she realized that she needed to make a change. I don't know. I don't know, and I can't say it. But I can say this: at the end of the day, she is 100% entitled to how she feels, and I don't have any hate against Nicki for it. I wouldn't advise anyone to have it against Nicki. And the people that are screaming and taking her down and going just stupid. Wisdom is known by her children. Nah, we just see it. We see who you are.
Hey, what's up, Am? Happy holidays.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good.
I wanted to ask you, obviously you and Nicki are super close. Can I ask you, what do you make of everything? Her coming out with Erica Kirk yesterday.
I think she did a great job, an amazing job.
I saw you put on Instagram, the Queen has spoken.
Yes,
so
that's right.
You don't think that she should be getting as much backlash as she
No,
is?
she shouldn't. We live in a free country. She has the right to her own political opinion.
So I'm going to tell you guys this. When you come at her also for being Christian, because this is the thing that she's going to face on the conservative side. And if she hasn't, Amber Rose has faced it already. It's you still have a pool of people on the conservative side that, regardless of whatever Nicki Minaj or either Amber Rose says, they not good, we don't like them, stay away from them. Because living in a place of religious superiority is all that some of them know. I mean, they're just glued to that place where they believe their perspective on Christianity and their perspective on the gospel far outweighs anyone else's perspective, whether they're pastors or whether they're just lay people that believe that they're pastors. It doesn't matter. You can't say anything to change their perspective at all. So they will always be like, but that's fundamentally true. Jesus wined and dined and hung out with sinners. And the people that attacked him were the Pharisees, the ones who didn't hang out with sinners. Think about that. But they were heavily religious. I tell people, when you get to heaven, you're going to see some people there you didn't think was supposed to be there. And I keep saying it, and I will always say it. Always say it. Because somewhere along the line, this national church of United States, or however these black people feel that they are, whatever they feel the black first church feels they're doing, feel they have some type of lock-in on this gospel of Jesus Christ. I don't know, but they do. So they set up rules to say this is right and this is wrong. Instead of welcoming in people like her, people like Amber Rose, and say, listen, let me help you. Let me show you some things. Let me help you to be a better, because they're already going to influence women. They're already going to influence society. They're already going to do it. They're already going to. Why not let their story be heard, give them a level of discipleship, So now they can go out and when they continue to make their music, however they choose to make their music, wherever they choose to show, that God can seep in through their music and their words and their things can change. There is always going to be this place where you guys got to realize there's a lot of shit going on in Hollywood that some of these people don't like. And they don't come out, they come out and they say it, but we think that what they say is worth ignoring, or we want to criticize them and attack them and say, oh, Nicki's doing that simply because, you know, Nicki, she was beefing with she's been beefing with everybody. She beefing with Jay-Z. She said Jay owes her $200,000. Y'all say all these different things and y'all try to excuse it, but there is a darkness that's there that twists and makes you conform for the money. You know that. I want you to imagine this. Every piece in society, there was a book that I read, I think it's called The Seven Mountains or The Seven Pillars, but it talks about entertainment being one, politics, education. I think there's a couple of, there's like 7 mountains. And as Christians, I kind of look at it, I'm like, these mountains are there. People are in them. Do you not think that people rise to the highest level in these mountains because they have to compromise somewhere? And then when after compromising, your soul gets dry and empty, there's got to be some place where you turn around and you're like, I got to make a change. Now, you may look at what's happening with your family and what you missed out on, or you may be getting attacked, because the devil will devour his own, okay? Listen, he will, in order to make next levels. He will. Dang. This conversation now is on a real estate lunchbox is going in more to the Leon Duncan, the real Leon Duncan channel. But I had to say it, man. I had to like pop this out and show you guys that what y'all doing, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. You're attacking a woman for having her opinion, and it's just her opinion. If you don't want to buy her tape, again, don't buy her tape. If you don't want to buy her music, you want to boycott her music. But you ain't got it 100% right. You never will have it 100% right. You never will.
Merry Christmas. Let's start this off right. Nicki Minaj, this one's for you. Come here, come to the front. Just because you go on Turning Point USA and you sit down with Erica Kirk, and you say that you're going into politics and you're looking for a party for your brother and your husband who are PDFs. Okay, let's say it again, who are PDFs. Because you know that over here we do the exposing. I know you sweep things under the rug for your own whatever. I'm very disappointed in you as a Sagittarius, but whatever, you know, sell out if you got to sell out. Do what you got to do. It's still not going to make them not a PDF. It doesn't matter if they get pardoned. We still already think that they are PDFs. We think they're horrible fucking people. And we think that you're horrible for associating with them. So, you get in a...
Now, I had to stop because I'm pretty sure, 100% sure, that she got a bunch of horrible people that's either family or friends that she associates with. Now, if I told her she's horrible for associating with them because they're horrible people, what changes? She wouldn't feel any type of way about it. This is the ranting and the ravings that I don't know if it's for clickbait or if it's just because I don't know. I don't get it. Yeah, it's probably for followers, because of course, anything you agree with, you're going to have people that agree with you and people that don't agree with you. That's part of life. That's why you can do this in this country. You understand that, right? You understand that we live in the most powerful country, wealthiest country. People break into our country for what we have. Y'all, you do get that, right? And one of the things you do have is the freedom of speech. So, but I'm going to let her freely speak.
From Erica Kirk or the Trump administration or wherever you get it from, Miss Onika, Trinidad. We're not care when no I hear it. It's still not going to do nothing for we. I not care. Your brother is still going to be pedophile. Peta. Yeah, man. Still a peta. It no matter who no sit with. But that's why you know that, Nicki. Have a good day, Onika.
Don't worship these guys, yo. Don't worship them.
I started going to church in New York. And it changed everything. It changed my life for the better because I was going every week. I was hearing the word of God be preached. And then I was going home and I was applying it to my life. Even as a little girl, I learned how to pray very early. I always had this faith that made people think, you know, the kind of faith that you think a person is crazy, like, oh, please, like, you know. But I had that faith instinctively once I started hearing about God and, you know, just getting more into the Bible. I got baptized. When I was about 13, I got baptized. I have just always.
So a lot of these, and another point is, we forget that a lot of these stars, man, a lot of these celebrities, not all of them, but a good amount of them, they have traces back to the church, whether it's the black church or just the overall church. And somewhere along the way, their gifts and their talents pulled them in a different direction. So what she's outlining is very clear, and I understand it, and I can understand where she's coming from with that. Let's, I want to hit this one.
Know how Nicki Minaj overnight literally became the enemy of black people. Y'all know that black people are not a monolith, right? Like all people, and there's nobody of any culture that's a monolith. Everybody thinks differently. Everybody got a different perspective. They look at things, they grow up, they evolve, they have children, they have different standards and demeanor, and you evolve, and you're not supposed to stay the same for the rest of your life. And I'm not really sure exactly what black people think that Turning Point USA represents. It represents Christ, it represents God, it represents conservative values, tradition.
So let me stop right there. That's Anton Daniels, the Anton Daniels channel, right? To tap in just briefly on Turning Point. Turning Point is not a neo-Nazi freaking college organization. Regardless of what the left or whatever media wants to make you think concerning it, there is nothing neo-Nazi in Turning Point. It is Bible study on college campus and having college students question their actions, which if they don't question it now, do you want them to question it when they leave college and get into the real world? And then they got to realize that the decisions that they made, whether they were hoeing around, male or female, wasn't the best decision. Turning Point is probably the best thing that a college campus can do for the moral, morality, self-esteem of the people that's there, of the students that attend the college. I kind of laugh at this because even when I say that, a lot of people still won't even get it. Because I think you're just indoctrinated into this belief that, I guess, everything, that it's a national, white nationalist group, or there's another group called Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Very similar to Turning Point. Bible studies. They just don't have an outspoken leader or anyone that really advocated for the culture to revise and rethink about and attack the culture. See, the thing about culture, and that's one of Turning Point's biggest things that it advocates for, a culture that reflects Jesus Christ. Culture is so backwards. And this is how I know it's backwards. It's like Run DMC said, oh, she's like, he bad. That's bad. Not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good. Same thing with culture. Culture comes across as being one thing and it's really something else, and everybody gets on board with it, and the amount of people that get on board with it, then it becomes true. It's not a finite thing. It's not definitive. Like it says that this is it and everybody agrees with it, so this is it. And it's the easiest way to shape our young people's mind. They experience it in not before they get to college, in high school, they experience it in middle school. And if you're parents that all you listen to is Nicki Minaj, all you listen to is rap music or music that goes against some of the fundamental things, and I like some hip hop songs, but some of this stuff is just shit, bro, honestly. But you guys get it when you get down with that? I hear my daughters, they'll listen to certain things. I'm like, nah, I would tell you not to do that. Because what you put in your eyes, what you continuously listen to, eventually will shape you from the inside out. That's it. And culture wants to do that. It wants to shape you and define you in another image contrary to Jesus. So that's why Turning Point initially was started. It's about culture too. But you guys get very weird. Very, very weird. Very weird.
Values. And I asked this question last night, and I'm asking it again to you guys. How did we as Black people become the face of gay, trans, and the LGBTQ community? I'm really trying to understand that, because it seems like, and I was listening to another girl that was talking about it, and I got several different videos that I'm sorting through to see if I want to react to those, because obviously Nicki Minaj is the hot topic right now.
And I'm a pause this, what he's saying, because I got more to roll through. But to answer Anton's question, how? And to challenge you and have you understand why you're so mad at Nicki Minaj, okay? How did we become the face of gay, trans rights and conformity to a Democratic Party or to a specific party? Somewhere along the line, we have to admit that when you attack gay people, when you attack trans people, despite of if you agree with them or not, you are still infringing on their civil liberties to practice in what they choose. Instead of actually attacking the main thing, we don't want our children to be indoctrinated at young ages. We don't want all these TV shows to display and express their beliefs, which is completely which is culture in itself, in its whole. We can't grow a society with two men. You can't grow a society with two women. You need a man and a woman to procreate and to expand our society. For Black communities also, regardless. These are fringe things. It's really fringe. We took the fringe and we put it in a center and we said the fringe has civil rights. And listen, Black people, just like they took your civil rights, they're also taking their civil rights. And so you put them under this big umbrella, you call it the Democratic Party, and everybody stays underneath that umbrella. And regardless of if I agree with you when it comes to trans people in women's sport or disagree with you concerning it, we still are under the same umbrella. And then they tell you, we're under this Democratic umbrella. You come and join this. You're Black. You fit under this umbrella. Join it. You're white. You're white and you've been suffering and you got to feel guilty for all of your things that you've done. I don't want a white person to feel guilty for shit. Listen, you didn't hang me. You didn't hang you ain't hang none of my old people. You ain't hang none of them. Those people in my ancestors, you never hung any of them from a tree. How you gonna be held as responsible for what your ancestors did? And you know they stupid and you agree they stupid, that's different. If you don't agree they're stupid and they were right, then that's a different conversation. All you gotta say is I agree. They were stupid, it was wrong. Let's move on. That's all it takes. But now we're in a place where our superstars are elevated to this point where these are the same superstars. And that's, I believe that's one reason why black women are upset. That's one reason why some of these black people are spazzing out. You guys are spazzing out because you believe that the way she thinks, because you believe the way she thinks is wrong. And the reason why you believe that is because the same party that supposedly is defending LGBTQ rights and gay rights, well, supposedly they put that in front of black rights. They put that in front of civil rights for anybody. But that same party now, they're in that place where they fed you the message that these stars and celebrities, if they're doing it, of course they should. It must be right. If they believe this way, it must be right. See how Don Lemon believes. See how Jay-Z believes. Yeah, he's for the people. You see how what was it? Denzel believes. You see, and I don't know how Denzel says Denzel's not political, but they give you all these other stars, and when one of them steps out of line, like Nicki, we gotta discredit them. We gotta disevolve them. We gotta say, hey, they black. Oh no, they're illegal. That's the reason why they acting like that. They don't want to be shipped over and moved away. I think Nicki got enough money. If she wanted to buy one of those Trump gold cards, she probably could. I'm pretty sure Nicki could buy one of those gold cards if she wanted to. She could have stood there, made her couple tweets with Trump and been going. And Trump would have, oh, thank you. Nicki did very good. We love what Nicki has to say. And left and say, I'm going to buy my gold card for $1 million. And Trump would have given her gold card for $1 million. She could have.
Congratulations. Well done.
But she didn't. She's expressing how she feels. And there is a portion when she was talking about white women being treated or discredited because of their color, blonde hair, blue eyes, that I don't get why that is such a freaking evil thought. That's a white woman. The same discrimination you face towards your skin, do you feel like they should be discriminated to also towards their skin? Do you think that, oh, I guess their color means that they don't have any type of, what is it, they don't have any morals? Or they don't have any feelings? Come on, man. Y'all got to grow up. Y'all got to get past this black and white thing. Y'all got to let it go. This is the first year of Trump, and we're in the first year. We ain't even make it year 2, and y'all spazzing out. Y'all gonna lose all your superstars. I'm telling you, you're going to. I don't get it. Maybe I'm off. I don't want to be too far off topic. Let's go to the next one.
It's so funny because just last month, everyone was a Nicki fan. Everybody was a Barb. Oh my gosh, Nicki's a baddie. Oh my gosh, did you hear that last song she came out with? Oh my gosh, Papa Bear. But since she switched sides, people want to switch up on her. Are we not allowed to be human? Are we not allowed to have our own opinions? You mean to tell me that if she would have just kept it to herself, she would still have fans? She can express how she feels to the world? Her music isn't good anymore? We just gonna forget her hits and delete all her music because she wants to be MAGA now. Your political beliefs now determine who you can be friends with. If we like different colors, it's all good. If we don't like the same foods, it's all good. But we have to vote for the same individuals. Otherwise, it's not all good. This is so
This is how you know you guys are brainwashed. When you're triggered by another person's opinion. See, I don't even get triggered by white folks that are racist, honestly. That hate black people. I always wonder why black people get triggered by them, and some black people get triggered by, not all black people, but it's a good amount, right? Oh, he called me a knuckle. you know? And you go and you calling your buddy the same thing. But either way, let's go. I don't know why. Why does their opinion about you determine your mood? Why do their thoughts and their concerns about you trigger you? Now, there is a point where if you're doing stupid stuff and it gets called out, it's stupid. But I mean, just for the sheer sake of your black skin, when someone dislikes that and they don't look like you, why? Why do you care? Why does it, can they make you or break you? Can they put the next paycheck into your pocket? Like, Leon, that's at my job. That's what I work with. You probably need to get another job then. You probably need to get away from that. You probably need to, if God put it on your heart to fight and to bring the point, then you bring the point. But for a large part, who cares? Who cares? That is the next level of mental slavery. And I keep saying it. You're a slave mentally before you ever become a slave physically.
Real and so stupid. Boy, I tell you, the hypocrisy in this world is really starting to irritate my soul.
And it is hypocrisy. But you know.
FYI, to all the people that are saying that Nicki Minaj lost 10 million followers, you have to understand how propaganda works. Clickbait, everyone, you have to remember, everyone has a narrative. Everyone's trying to win. It's an information war. So it's just like, the only way to know what's really happening is for you to, when you see a clip, understand that in media, everyone, the goal is to persuade, inform or persuade. That's it. Okay. And so a lot of times when you see, clips on the internet, whoever posted it has a mission and an intention to sway you to their way of thinking. This happens across the board. And so as an everyday.
And she's not lying. That's what happens. I mean, that's what God's trying to do. He's trying to sway you to understand that he loves you. And some of the stuff that happens to you wasn't his fault, but everybody says that's his fault. But this is the game of propaganda. I saw that too. I saw Nicki lost 100,000 followers. Nicki lost 10 million followers. I think it's more for Nicki Minaj when you hear that. I think it's more for Nicki. The reason why is because if she sees that they're believing that she will feel discouraged or people will like her less. I want you guys to understand where we're at right now in this society. We're not in a place where all your negative statements actually mean anything. It makes people like me go do more research. And then don't let me find out something that I like while you're telling me it's all negative. I'm going to be like, damn, that's no. You end up bringing more people over to the cause, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. But you do end up bringing more people to it. That's why certain things I won't even enlighten. I won't even showcase. Like, for example, Nick Fuentes. You'll never see me. Probably, I'm not going to say you'll never see me. Probably down the line. But in this season, I'm not putting anything out for Nick Fuentes. I'm not making any comments on his stuff. Because Nick doesn't fit really any type of real narrative. And if you really know what's going on with Nick Fuentes, you kind of would be like, I've seen him in other talk shows and people address him on certain things on panels that his response wasn't. But that's neither here nor there. Okay. But we still live in this place of propaganda where the machine is supposed to determine what you think, right? Think of it. Compare this to China. China, when a story breaks out that the Chinese government doesn't want to be out there or something like that, they will shut down whole internets. They will put their propaganda machine in play, and it will now combat that narrative, hush and qualm the thoughts. And because you live in a communist society, you might get a knock on your door and you might get dragged out. And your family may not see you for a while, reconditioning. And when you come back, you're going to have nothing but great things to say about China, or you probably won't come back. Okay? Not China as a whole, but the Communist Party of China. When do we not realize that we're blessed to live in a place where these opinions matter? And if we address these opinions the right way, if we look at it and we analyze what the person's saying, if we are not so quick to judge them, then we'll find out that they may know something or see something that we may not see. Hence, some people say that Nicki's on her rant, her Kanye West rant. I don't think she's on her Kanye West rant. I think Yeezy had reasons to rant, even though Yeezy's ranting on some crazy stuff. But I don't walk in his shoes. I don't see from his perspective his contracts, his bank accounts, his meetings with individuals. He's only going to tell you what he sees, what he knows, what he's experienced, his years in that space. You can agree with it or not. Same thing with Nicki.
Citizen, what you have to do is do your DD. Do your due diligence and actually go and figure out, okay, so what's actually happening here? For example, two things. Actually, there's a lot of propaganda circulating that I've just been like shaking my head about. You have people who want you to believe. See, you have to understand herd mentality psychologically. They want you to believe that Nicki Minaj is being canceled, that the mob is still strong and people are still in lockstep with each other.
Dangerous thing, herd mentality, the most dangerous thing.
In cancel culture. And so they want you to believe that they are so powerful that they have gotten rid of her. This is why I keep seeing clips of people saying she lost 10 million followers. This is what happens when you go to the right, or if you're a Trump supporter. Oh, she's going to be canceled. This is the end of her career. She's going to, all of that. There are videos of people saying she lost 10 million followers on Instagram and across her platforms, like just circulating all over the place. The gag is Nicki Minaj has been off of Instagram for a while. Nicki Minaj deactivated her Instagram account months ago. That had nothing to do. This is before she ever came out supporting Trump, before she ever held hands and was, hanging out with Erica Kirk or whatever, or collaborating with Erica Kirk. None of that before she said anything, thanked President Trump about the persecution of Christians in Nigeria. Her Instagram was already deactivated. But what they won't tell you is that her streams are going to the moon, which means losing followers. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of people that unfollowed her, but equally there's a lot of people that followed her. And followers don't equate to money. So she's still raking in money. Okay? She has a 15-year-old song that's #1 on iTunes, Up All Night with her and Drake.
Yep.
She's
still getting her bag. I mean, she's not. To believe that you going out and canceling Nicki Minaj will stop her from getting her bag, you missed it. It's not the fact that she's a legendary rapper alone, but everybody doesn't feel the way you feel. Everybody doesn't think the way you think. They don't. They don't think or see it the same way.
Oh my God, it's just celebrities, a Trump supporter, that means we have to cancel them. Do y'all not realize that behind the scenes, like all of these influencers, rappers, celebrities, rappers especially, are Republican? No one wants to pay high taxes. Nobody wants men and women's spaces. Nobody wants a wide open border unless you're helping people through the wide open border. Oh my gosh, Trump's going to take your rights away. Do you see me in shackles yet? And liberals, you honestly should only be mad at yourselves because y'all could have had it all. Nobody wants to be a liberal at this point.
You heard what he said, right? Some of the same people that you guys would actually like trip out about. Some of those same people don't agree with you. They don't agree with what the Democratic Party is actually doing. They don't agree with women, males and women's sports. They don't agree with the trans topic. They're quiet for the bag. Mammon and money will make you do the strangest things. Because if somebody dangles that bag in front of you, you're going to go ahead and go for the bag. Oh, it's okay, yeah. I don't know too much about Trump. I don't even think, okay, don't like him, I won't like him. That's what you get. Because your stars they're great at what they do. Rapping, singing, acting. They may be shitty human beings. 9 times out of 10, well, I don't say that. 50%. If I'm being too generous, you leave a comment and you let me know. But 50% of the time, they're ignorant of most of these topics. When I saw Stephen A starting his political rant portion, I knew he was ignorant about politics. When he went on Patrick Bet-David's Volutainment and started to, he got interviewed, and then next thing you know, he's landing that deal, and PBD is, he says, man, I thank PBD for the advice on negotiating those deals. He's getting his feet warm in the political side, like he wet on the political side. But does he know politics? No. And I would dare to say that even a lot of people don't know politics. They really don't. Because if you really knew what was going on, you probably would kill yourself. That's the truth. Because a lot of people can't take it. Nancy Pelosi making $177 million working in Congress. When does a public servant ever get a chance to make $177 million? What public servants who put their life on the line in the military come out after 20 years making $177 million? Now, granted, based on whatever space they're in, they can go and work in the private field space and work for one of those aerospace companies, whether you're talking about military technology company. It doesn't matter. They can find a place there, and based off their experience coming out of the military, they can make a ton of money. But you would kill yourself. You wouldn't, your heart would faint. Because we definitely always got to know everything, right? It would. At its core, do you truly believe what you say a lot of times? I wonder if people do. A lot of people don't truly believe. I truly believe, this is how I know you don't believe. Like, Charlie Kirk was ready to take a bullet. He knew there's a possibility he could die. He could get shot. But he believed what he had to say was strong, was more important than his life. The same for Martin Luther King. The same for Malcolm X. Same for JFK. His ranting against the military-industrial system, counter-espionage community. He believes some of that stuff so much to his core. Most of you are just echoing exactly what's there. And if you believe it, your belief doesn't have to be expressed in a way of violence or in a way of sheer hatred. Say what you got to say. Man, listen, leave your comments on this. Please leave your comments. I definitely want to hear every last comment on it. But you're bamboozled and hoodwinked to believe that the people that you go and watch in movies and buy their tapes, that they agree with you. They want your money, bro. Sis, it's all about the bag. It's not about you or what you believe. It's about the bag.
Just the way y'all reacted to Sydney Sweeney told me everything I needed to know about why liberals are never winning elections again. Because liberals, you don't like hot people. You don't like to be in shape. You don't like people being rich. You don't like people, being capitalists, taking advantage of the free country that we live in. You want people to all view themselves as victims. And when we don't, especially when we're black or a part of any marginalized group, you have the audacity to tell us that we're against our own better interests. Babe, I'm drinking Air One in my Tesla, and I grew up poor, but you know what? I decided to take advantage of this free country, and now I'm thriving. Why aren't you? Y'all are supporting socialists and low-key supporting Sharia law. It's like, yep, burlap sacks for all of you, bitch.
All right.
So I just...
I'm gonna pause this right here. I'm gonna have my wife join me. You're gonna have to get some headphones. Get those the red headbuds that are in the brown box right there. Because you can't, she wouldn't be able to hear it unless, we're already on it.
My videos.
Now Now, if you're taking down videos and you're changing your thought concerning Nicki Minaj, I think you should. You shouldn't take what CNN says as being whole. You really should.
Y'all funny. Pay attention to how these people talking to Nicki Minaj right now. The same people that want to control Nicki, look at how they talking to Nicki in the comments or about Nicki. Just because she's standing up for God, just because she's standing up for kids, just because she's standing up for artists like herself that are basically manipulated in the system of the industry. Look at how they talking to her because she wants to talk about God and her music. Look at how they talking and dogging her. How you think somebody supposed to follow y'all when y'all don't even know how to talk to people? Are y'all okay? Like, what the fuck is up, Mariah? Like, y'all think somebody supposed to be, like, look at yourself. That's why she said, a lot of y'all got issues within yourself. You follow the blind. You follow the gatekeepers in the industry plants that sit here and pollute y'all minds every day to make shit look cool. And y'all think that a motherfucker that really speaking the truth is supposed to bow down to y'all? Fuck y'all.
Yeah.
And you being mad at Nicki for supporting Trump is not going to fix the fact that you're 3 months behind on your rent. And you're working a job that you don't want to fucking work. It's not going to fix what the fuck you going through in life. Just because she support Trump ain't got shit to do with you. Just because your beliefs are different than hers ain't got shit to do with you. Her beliefs ain't got shit to do with your mishaps in life. Y'all hoes delusional.
All right, I made some space in here for my wife to go join me on this live stream. I told you guys, holiday season, the family's home, so appreciate her coming in here. Thank you, baby, for showing up. You know, so I'm just getting to the end of this. I think that was my last Nicki piece right there. But what's your thoughts on this, Nicki? This Nicki piece. What do you think?
I think that she is a very well-spoken young woman, first and foremost. She's an Islander, and she definitely has the right to think the way she wants to think, speak the way she wants to speak, and provide whatever opinion that she wants to provide based upon her beliefs.
Yeah.
Leave her alone. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and because we're in an opinion in a society where your opinions, everybody has opinions, like buttholes, everybody got one, you know. The freedom to be able to say certain things, we need to focus on keeping that up, you know. And when we allow people like what you see on CNN and some of these people around us to actually make these opinions, and then we shape our lives off of this, it is so it's so culture. It's so culture. It's so average. Anybody can do it. It takes more work to actually sit back and form your own opinion. To actually take the time to think through all the information that's provided and say, I see it this way, and it's because of this, and reference the facts and the reasons why. But and if you can't do that, then I think we need to take the mic away from everybody. That's my applause for myself. You need to do it because now you become an echo chamber. Now I hear you guys saying, oh, what about Trump? We hear people with the talking points. The truth is both sides has talking points. I've heard when Kamala was running, so many people were repeating the same thing that Kamala was saying. When Trump was running, yeah, they let loose talking points for Trump also. It's not the talking points. It's after you stated the points. Can you now truly provide some critical or creative thinking behind it, some critical thinking to say, this is why I believe it, not just simply because they told me to believe it.
I'm sorry, but Black America is going to be an echo chamber every single time it comes to politics.
Black America will be an echo chamber every single time it comes to politics. And the reason why you guys are spazzing out, most of it, is because you worship Nicki Minaj. She's now an idol, and when that idol doesn't fit what you came on board to worship it for and it moves in a different direction, you get affected. You feel your emotions feel a certain type of way. That's why we don't worship people. That's why we don't put them in that place where their opinions change and shape our day and our moods and how we think about them. And yeah, that's why we don't do that. That's why. So it's not Nicki Minaj. And as I even wrap this one off, because we got a bunch of other stuff right here, I want to talk about this deportation deal. I got to talk about this deportation deal. My wife came in this thing in the last minute. I said, stop worshiping these people. Stop it. Stop worshiping her. What's up? You good?
Yeah. Just I'm about to head out.
Okay. Well, I'm going to wrap this up in a little bit. I want to cover this deportation thing. You want to cover this with me also? Let's go ahead. Let's talk about this deportation. All right. Deportation. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom.
This is
all right. So, man, you it's blocking your face.
No, it's fine.
It's all right.
It's
let me see if I can move this down some. Let me move it right down here. I'll move it down to this part right here. Let's do that. Okay. All right, you guys in the chat got to move over here. Let me move that right over there. Boom. Okay. Man, the Trump administration decided they're going to give away $3,000 for anyone that wants to voluntarily deport themselves.
a statement where Secretary Noem has announced that the Department for Homeland Security will give, and this is the quote from Fox and Friends, illegal migrants a $3,000 holiday stipend if they self-deport by December 31st. And I wanted to share a little bit more directly from the DHS website, saying that the Department of Homeland Security is continuing to deliver this holiday season on its promise to help illegal aliens in the United States return home. That is a quote directly from the DHS government website, saying illegal aliens who sign up to self-deport through the CBP Home app by the end of the year will receive a $3,000 stipend in addition to a free flight home. Secretary Noem speaking with Fox and Friends just a short time ago. Let's play that out.
Before we even get into this is free money. So, we were just talking about Nicki Minaj on the last piece. Guys, the reason why you got stars that are jumping on a bandwagon for Trump, the reason why you got a lot of these stars, actors, I think you're going to see a lot more because we're only in the first year. I think you're going to see a ton more. It's because it makes sense. It makes sense. You said, how does it make sense? When you give someone a free ticket out that got in illegally, and you give them $3,000, which you got it, don't get it twisted. That $3,000, when it converts into their money, some of them can go and buy an apartment or live in an apartment, and they can cover their mortgage or their rent in an apartment for a couple of months, if not a whole year. A lot of the immigrants that come in don't have it the way that you have. Okay? It's not the same thing. So when you see this taking place, for you to criticize the guy and continuously say Donald Trump is this and that and the other, this makes sense, and it makes sense for us as a whole. It does. What's your thoughts? Any thoughts?
Well, free money is free money, right? So I could say that with no complexity, I would be the person to take that if I were an illegal. So, I mean, but then again, it really depends upon where they're from. You know what I mean? So $3,000 may not be enough to give up their life. If they're from God knows where, that will definitely cause for them to lose their lives if they go back home. So again, it just really depends upon what type of environment that they're redeporting themselves to
back
or
into.
exiting themselves back into. 'Cause
Yeah.
many of them, I can't really say many of them. Probably a good amount came here for
Make sure you're talking to the
asylum.
mic.
Probably many of them came here for asylum purposes because they were trying to escape a war-ravaged country. So if that war is still going on, or if they're still having guerrilla activities within their homeland and they know of them, they're not going to take that $3,000 to go anywhere.
I think some of them aren't going to take that $3,000 to go anywhere. But the fact that Donald Trump is offering that $3,000, to me, that says a lot and it speaks a lot. So let's finish this right here. Finish this skit. And
Madam Secretary.
Well, it's home for the holidays season. So, not only are we returning those kiddos back to their families that Biden lost, we also are saying that if you voluntarily want to go home now to your country, if you're in this United States of America illegally, we will give you $3,000 through the holidays to send you home. We'll buy you a ticket, give you $3,000 to go home, and that includes people that have not been detained, maybe have interacted with us, are detained and don't have criminal charges against them. Yeah, raise your hand. We'll help you get home. We'll facilitate it, and you might get the chance to come back to this country the right way someday. If you wait until we interdict you and detain you and arrest you and have to deport you ourselves, you'll never get the chance to come back. So go on the CBP Home app and get the information, and we'll make sure you get home in time for Christmas.
So that was the quick soundbite from Secretary No making that announcement earlier today on Fox and Friends, saying that undocumented migrants who self-deport through the Home app by the end of the year will receive a $3,000 stipend in addition to a free flight home. We did want.
It's a lot of free. You come to America for free. Now you're getting a bunch of free stuff. Free money, free plane ticket back to your home. Yeah. Yeah. And some of y'all still gonna dislike this. Let's be honest. Some of y'all still don't get the picture and don't understand why this immigration thing is so important. Why is Nicki Minaj feeling the way that she's feeling? Why are some of your favorite actors and singers flipping it, like going completely opposite? There was a report that came out about how contractors now have to pay wages to subcontractors because there are higher wages to subcontractors who are American because they can't just go to the foreign nationals that worked these sites, didn't have green cards, and pay them any longer. Now, if that doesn't make you happy that more money's getting to the pocket of Americans, then you're out of it. And I'm going to just leave you with that. That's it. All right. She's going to leave out. And I'm going to do this last one not on deportation, on reparations. I want you guys to hear my conversation because I got probably close to about 100 comments on this reparations video. Close to about 100 comments. I'm going to tell you guys. I want you guys to understand my thoughts on reparations because the brainwashing starts with the belief that you're entitled to something that you're not entitled to. So let's make this clear. And this is for all you guys that hate. I read some of the comments. I responded to a lot of them. And I'm not going to take long in doing this because I'm going to bounce out. I'm about to go downtown, enjoy myself, hang out with my family real quick. I'm about to give me a couple minutes. I'm going to drop this and then I'm going to leave out. Okay. So let's first start with this question on reparations. The reason why the black community has an issue with reparations, okay, is reparations are designed for people that injustices were done wrong to as repayment back for those injustices. Key point. You say, Leon, it's slavery. That's an injustice. I never say that slavery isn't an injustice, but what I say is that it was not illegal at that time to create slaves. I wish the same people, some of y'all who have these feelings concerning reparations, will actually take it up with the Arab nations, because Arabs were the ones who were coming into sub-Saharan Africa and forcing conversion to Islam or to slavery by the sword. So you guys should be going, instead of going to Dubai to hang out in Dubai, you need to go to Dubai and ask for reparations from these Arab nations, because they also turned a lot of black people into slaves in Africa and took them back to their countries, or either settled their land and left them there but made them conform to Christianity. And the ones to Islam, and the ones that didn't conform, by the sword, they were either slayed or turned into slaves. Where's the frustration and the anger towards that? Because if you really were frustrated and angry, you would see how Sharia law and certain things are now making its way into your society. And you would say, no, I'm not for that. And that would be your biggest beef. But you're not saying that. You're not expressing that. The Japanese who were put in concentration camps that were American citizens because of the fear of Asians at that time, they deserve reparations. The Jews who lived in Nazi Germany, who were citizens and German Jews. Yes, Germany needed to pay them reparations. That's their own citizens that they inflicted that upon. And their descendants. Native Americans, whose land we walk on right now, okay? Native Americans, yes, they do need reparations. They do need that. They need, because this land was taken from them. They need to be made citizens of it and given so many different ways, which they have already, to stay ahead and because they didn't ask for their land to be taken and the changes to be taken on them. So why not make them and give them their own territory and make them citizens also of the largest and most powerful country in the world? But Black Americans, blacks, we were taken from our homes and sold by other blacks. Other blacks brought us here, not just the white guy on a boat. Other blacks who didn't like you because of your tribe, or didn't like you because you were just easy prey, or it didn't matter. Those blacks made deals with those whites at that time and got you on, your forefathers on those boats and brought them over. So I do laugh at reparations, and I'm going to continue laughing at it. Because when you're spending more time trying to get money from a system instead of learning how to actually dominate in this system, how to be successful, how to take your same gifts and skills, take the attitude off, shake it off, and invent, create, build that will actually help people that look like you, that you are advocating so much for. If you can't get to that point, then we can't even have a conversation, because you haven't created anything. You don't desire to create anything. You just want, and you just want, and you just believe you're entitled to have. Whether it's because you're educated and you got a degree, or whether it's because you believe that you were brought here forcefully and so the country has to pay you for that hostile kidnapping. Slavery was not illegal. I'm going to repeat it again. It was not wrong. I'll tell you again. If it was wrong, if it was not morally, it was morally wrong, but not legally wrong. How those two things be? I don't believe you should enslave any man to do anything. Yeah, morally wrong. But there was nothing set on a global scale that says if you did this, now you are a tyrant. We look at you this way, and it was none of that. It was non-existent. Get over it, move on. Hey guys, this is my show for today. Real Estate Lunchbox. I holla at you guys. You guys like, subscribe, follow for more content. I see you guys on the next video. Have a blessed day.